Welcome to VHS Voyage, where we're on a journey to find, watch, and discuss movies on VHS we've never seen or never knew existed. I'm Matt.
I'm Devin.
Today's episode, we're going to talk about
dirty work.
Getting dirty with it. I don't know why I said that.
God.
I don't know why I said that.
Oh, no.
I don't know why I said that. And before we start talking about the movie, Devin, hit us with some facts and information.
Yep. This is directed by Bob Saget. This stars Norm Macdonald, Artie Lang, Jack Warden, the GOAT Don Rickles, Christopher McDonald, Chevy Chase, Chris Farley, and there's a few little cameos in there like Adam Sandler and John Goodman and Gary Coleman. So this was Chris Farley's last movie. He died.
Oh, shit,
he
really?
died 6 months before the movie actually came out.
Wow,
So
I
it
didn't
was
know
the
that.
last movie. This had a massive resurgence in popularity over the last 2 years because of the death of Norm Macdonald and Bob Saget. It's had a big resurgence in popularity.
That makes sense.
And leading to that, what you were telling me about, it has a change.org petition to release a rated R cut, and that started after Norm Macdonald passed away.
Got our main character, Mitch Weaver, who is played by Norm Macdonald. Him and his best friend, Sam, played by Artie Lang. Mitch grew up whenever he was a kid, never taking shit from anybody. Anybody that messed with him, he would come up with these elaborate pranks to get revenge on them. But as he got older, he kind of stopped doing that and became kind of a pushover. Sam's dad, his best friend Sam's dad, who is a really old pervert, has a heart attack and he's in the hospital and he's basically going to die at some point unless he gets a new heart. He needs a heart transplant. Mitch finds out that Sam's dad is also his dad.
Tell me what?
Mitch, I'm your father.
And the doctor, who's played by Chevy Chase, he is in severe gambling debt, like $50,000 in debt for betting and losing a bet. And he owes the bookie $50,000 and he's basically going to get killed in 2 weeks if he doesn't get the money. So he makes a deal with Mitch and Sam. He's like, hey, if you guys can get me $50,000, I'll bump your dad up the list on the donor list so that he can get that heart transplant sooner. But then they realize what they're strong at is getting revenge on people. So they start a revenge for hire business called Dirty Work in an effort to raise the money to pay Chevy Chase so that they can get Sam's dad, who's also Mitch's dad's heart transplant. Now, let me ask you this first.
Yeah.
Just straight up. Do you like Dirty Work?
I'm 50-50 on it.
50-50?
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking you that is because one thing I've learned about comedies, and I think this is also probably one of the reasons why we don't get as many comedies these days, is because people are very particular about what kind of comedy they like.
Yes.
Very particular. So for me, this is right up my alley because I grew up with comedies like this. 90s, early 2000s, offensive comedies that are just ridiculous with just constant jokes thrown at you. Not all the jokes land, but constant jokes thrown at you. This is my style of movie.
It's not the style of comedy that has me 50-50 on it, though. It's different things.
Gotcha.
So it actually doesn't have to do with the style that why I'm 50-50.
Okay. Dirty Work throws jokes at you constantly. Like every scene has multiple jokes. Some of them are dumb, and then some of them I thought were pretty clever. Now, one thing I do want to say before I talk about some of the jokes and some of the scenes in the movie is, yes, Norm Macdonald is not a very good actor, but there's something about how he delivers his lines that I like.
It's the same as his stand-up comedy. It's very dry.
Yeah.
That's what made some of his stand-up comedy great. And some people, there's people that hated Norm Macdonald's stand-up that did not get it, especially when he was on SNL.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of your casual old people watching TV late at night, and they did not get Norm Macdonald at all.
He's just got this tone in his voice every line like he's about to start laughing.
Exactly like his stand-up comedy. He always had this little smirk on his face when he was doing his stand-up comedy because he knew the punchline was coming, but he was so good at hiding the punchline and just doing these dumb jokes that would get you, but he knew it was coming and he knew it was going to get you, and it was almost the same here.
Yeah, exactly. So at the beginning of the movie, it shows Mitch as a kid, and it shows how he gets revenge on some of the people. Like there's a bully that throws him into the trash can. And by the way, it's a running joke through the movie is Mitch is constantly getting thrown out windows and thrown in the trash cans and thrown through doors and stuff. But a bully throws him into the trash can, and him and Sam plant guns in his desk at school and get him arrested. I'm like, damn.
That joke would not fly today.
No.
That joke would not fly today.
I'm like,
Hey, do you know where he hides his guns?
Don't worry. We just planted the guns in the bully's desk so he'd get in trouble.
No, I'm a knee guy. I like a good, sexy pair of
You like
knees,
being on your
dude.
knees? Dude, does this movie not feel like a 90-minute episode of Family Guy?
Oh, yeah.
It feels
Yeah, for
just
sure.
like an episode of Family Guy. Especially like the fish scene.
Yeah.
The scene with the fish. His neighbors are these like frat kids that are really loud and annoying.
Yeah.
So they take all these fish into a house to make the house smell bad. And then all these frat guys come in with these drug dealers and they have a shootout and they all murder each other.
There's grenades and chainsaws and
It's something straight out of Family.
Yeah.
This feels like a 90-minute episode of Family Guy.
yeah.
Huh? Is that a signal? No. You wearing a wire?
No, it really does smell like fish in here.
You're a damn cop, ain't you? That's it.
Show these guys what we do to cops. Say hello to the devil for me.
And the celebrity cameos almost make it feel like an episode of Family
Yeah.
Guy because Family Guy is always full of celebrity cameos.
Oh, yeah. So the first time that he gets revenge on somebody as an adult, him and Mitch and Sam are in a bar and they get into a bar fight with a bunch of like douchey college frat dudes. They get their asses kicked, of course. And here's how they get revenge on the guys. So they decide to dress up as cops outside of their frat house while these frat dudes are partying. And they call the frat house and the douchey guy answers, and Mitch acts like he's somebody that the douchey guy knows. And he's like, hey, I just want to let you know there's some cops going around or some fake cops going around. They're not real cops, but they're going around acting like they're real cops and then robbing people. So if some cops show up, it's these fake cops that are going around. And so then he hangs up and he calls the real cops and he's like, hey, there's a party going on. You guys need to come check it out. So the real cops show up. Douchey frat guys think that they're fake cops, punches them, and then all the cops show up and just start beating the shit out of these college dudes.
All right, fellas, get a little complaint about the noise.
Whatever you say, officer.
Sit down. We need backup.
When it comes
Drug-laced brownies. And these brownies, for some reason, when you eat these brownies, they make you see Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
They make
Yeah.
you see Satan and they make you see Gary Coleman.
Yeah. And one of the guys that's tripping balls hallucinates and sees Gary Coleman in a boxing ring with this big old buff boxer.
Come on, man, bring it. Come on, bring it.
I'm gonna let you talk about the movie theater scene because that's Don Rickles
Yes.
right in that. You talk.
Yeah,
about
Don Rickles is my favorite stand-up comedian ever. And what's great about Don Rickles is you can watch his stuff from the 1960s and it's still funny now. He was so great at insults. Everything is off the dome. He never wrote anything. Everything he said in this movie was completely off the dome.
Oh, really?
Every line he did.
It felt like that,
He
yeah.
refused to write. He never wrote. He would just go out there with the mic and do it. He's the best stand-up
Wow.
comedian ever. And I just love this scene. Even though he's only in one scene, they get a job at a movie theater to try to get some money. And Don Rickles just roasts them.
Yeah.
And then they get some revenge on him.
Yeah.
And what I love is they're laughing the entire time because
Yeah.
they can't, because his improv is so good, they can't control themselves from laughing.
What are you laughing at? Because I called your friend a fat pig, huh? You think that's funny?
Oh, no, I was just laughing earlier when you were talking to his belly.
But you get a horse and live in the mountains someplace and don't bother anybody. Got a personality like a dead moth.
Also, I love how Don Rickles does this movie. He's like coming off doing Casino with Martin Scorsese
Yeah.
and doing Toy Story, which was a
Yeah.
massive success. And he's like, I'm going to do this movie with Norm Macdonald, bro.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, Chris Farley, his character in the movie, he's just absolutely insane like Chris Farley is, right? And I guess he had his nose bit off by a Saigon prostitute, and so he's always freaking out about that.
I love how that group of SNL crew would just be in each other's movies.
Oh yeah. There's a scene where a little person that works at a circus hires them to get revenge on the bearded lady because the bearded lady's like an alcoholic bitch. And so what they do is they get her drunk, and while she's passed out drunk, they shave her beard off and then they mark out bearded, so she's just lady.
I didn't like that one.
Yeah.
That one fell kind of flat for me.
It definitely fell a little flat.
Hey, baby. You ever had a chick with a beard before?
There's a scene where they get arrested and they go to jail, and Mitch is explaining Mitch is explaining to Sam what happens in jail, like, you know, what men do to other men in jail. I'm not going to spell it out, but you know what I'm talking about. And Sam was like, what? I've never heard of this before. And Mitch is like, yeah, they do that here. And these two burly, rough looking dudes show up and they're like, you come with us to Mitch.
So what? You know what prisoners do to each other all the time?
No, what?
You don't know?
No!
Okay, so you're 50-50, so hit us with some of the stuff.
So again, like some of the jokes don't land, and when you mix bad acting with bad jokes, I think it makes it even worse.
Yeah.
It makes it a little cringe sometimes. Artie Lang's not a good actor either.
No.
Some of his delivery was very cringe to me and not very good. I don't mind movies like this from that era too. Basketball, anything with Adam Sandler. I love Chris Farley movies. I think there's a reason this one got forgotten though. I just don't think it's as good as those.
Yeah,
I think it falls under all those. I think that's the reason it wasn't successful and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's as good as the other ones from that era that are like this. I think it's a little bit too much miss on the jokes for me. Some of them are very funny, but I think there's way more misses than hits there. And I do like good acting in a comedy, because I think if you name any of the best comedies of all time, there's always a great actor in the lead.
Oh yeah, for
always.
sure.
And I don't think this one has that.
Yeah.
From an acting perspective, story's a little weak. I get it though. It's just like the story doesn't really matter. It's like you're just trying to throw these jokes out in this. Again, I'm 50-50. I don't think I would ever watch it again, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I thought it was fine, but I just think that there's other comedies in this exact style from that era that I think are way better.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with everything that you just said for sure.
I tried watching this movie one time and I started feeling funny.
Really?
I was like, I started feeling, I got this little scratch in my throat, and the next morning I had COVID.
Oh shit,
when I got
really?
COVID, yeah.
Dang, that wasn't that long ago then.
It's like January 2022. So like, yeah, I was like, I tried watching this movie one time. I got like 30 minutes. And I was like, I feel weird. I'm going to go lay down. And the next morning I woke up and I had COVID. So I never finished it. So now I got to finish it.
So yeah, this is, I mean, I like it. I definitely like it. It's a keeper for me. I am with you. I don't know that I would watch it again.
Or maybe in a long time.
A long time. Yeah. All right, folks, that is it for today's episode of VHS Voyage on Dirty Work. I'm Matt.
I'm Devin.
And we'll catch you next week.